Cedar Hollow, Oregon, population 438. A mossy dot buried deep in the Cascade Mountains. The kind of town where everyone knows your dog's name but forgets your birthday. Life here was quiet, predictable, and mostly untouched by tragedy. That changed the day the Whitmore family moved into the old Redfern cabin. Clara and Jonathan Whitmore were quiet types, ex-urbanites fleeing the chaos of Seattle after a string of miscarriages and mental health scares. When their 7th pregnancy finally succeeded, they took it as a sign to start fresh. They wanted peace, isolation, and healing. They wanted a miracle. Instead, they got Eli. Eli Whitmore was born with a caul over his face and jet-black eyes that reflected light like a predator's. Nurses whispered that he didn't cry when he came into the world, he just stared. Clara said he was a blessing wrapped in shadows. Jonathan said nothing at all. Over time, even the forest seemed to lean away from their house. Locals saw the family occasionally. Eli in a stroller, always silent. His pupils so wide they seemed to eat the whites of his eyes. Clara began withdrawing. She told neighbors Eli didn't like sunlight, that he screamed whenever the church bells rang in town. Jonathan, meanwhile, had taken to sleeping in the shed behind the cabin. In his journal, later found scorched in the fireplace, he wrote things like, "He knows when I'm thinking about leaving. He talks in my dreams with voices that are not his. I found the cat again with no eyes." And then one day, Jonathan Whitmore vanished. It was a UPS driver who first raised the alarm. He hadn't seen the Whitmores in weeks, and the packages were piling up. When sheriff's deputies arrived, they found the house locked from the inside. No sign of forced entry, no signs of struggle, except for the crawl space. A subtle blood smear near the baseboard, a whiff of decay that hadn't reached full bloom, and a sound, barely perceptible, like someone humming "You Are My Sunshine" off-key. They found Clara first, kneeling upright in the crawl space, eyes gouged out, face frozen in a rictus grin. Her fingernails had been torn off one by one. Her body was desiccated, as if she'd been dead for months. But the forensics team found undigested food in her stomach from 2 days before. Then they found Eli, sitting beside her, not blinking, whispering to something invisible in the corner. Eli was taken into custody. No signs of abuse, neglect, or physical trauma. He wouldn't speak to anyone except a trauma therapist named Dr. Angela Kerr. Over their sessions, she reported chilling details. He says the man in the wall told him what to do, that Daddy tried to drown him in the river, but the man in the wall saved him. He says Mommy was hurting him in her sleep. No physical evidence of Jonathan Whitmore's death was ever found. Nobody, no blood, just one thing. His voice recorded faintly in the crawl space on a deputy's body cam, whispering, "He's not our son, he's something else." Investigators explored every angle: postpartum psychosis, shared delusions, gas leaks, satanic panic. Psychiatrists diagnosed Eli with early-onset schizophrenia, but none could explain how a 6-year-old child could twist off an adult's limbs without tools. Then there was the neighbor's security footage. One night, weeks before the discovery, the camera caught Clara walking backwards into the woods, naked, eyes wide, whispering. Behind her, a tall figure, impossibly thin, humanoid, but somehow not, followed silently. When enhanced, the audio revealed her saying, "Take him back, please. I can't love him anymore." Dr. Kerr became obsessed. She began to believe that Eli wasn't mentally ill in the traditional sense. Her notes grew erratic. He says, "I dream of the crawl space now too. He drew a picture of me holding my own eyes. I've started hearing the humming." 3 weeks later, she committed herself to a psychiatric facility after carving a spiral into her shoulder with a pencil. The sheriff's department, frustrated and unnerved, tried to file Eli as a ward of the state, but no foster family would take him. One couple who agreed lasted 72 hours before fleeing their home in the middle of the night. The husband was later found on a bus headed to Montana, muttering, "The man in the wall wears my father's face." The forensic breakthrough came from a rookie crime scene tech who tested Eli's hair against both parents. It matched Clara, but not Jonathan. A deeper DNA analysis suggested something disturbing. Eli's paternal markers did not match any known human line. The analyst called it a statistical impossibility, like finding DNA from a tree frog mixed with Arctic plankton. When authorities attempted to move Eli to a secure federal facility for further testing, the transfer vehicle crashed under mysterious circumstances. Both officers inside were found in a nearby creek, drowned, but with dry lungs. Eli was missing for 3 days. They found him on the third night, sitting on the Whitmore cabin porch, humming. Today, the Whitmore cabin sits abandoned, overgrown. Some say you can still hear humming if you get too close. Others claim the pines themselves have bent away from the house. Officially, the case remains open. Eli was placed in a long-term psychiatric institution under a different name. No visitors, no press. Dr. Kerr is still institutionalized and refuses to speak. As for Jonathan Whitmore, his body has never been found, but forest rangers sometimes find strange markings near the Redfern Creek. Long scratches in the trees, and the word "Daddy" etched deep into the bark.